Click something. Click. What the fuck does that mean? Click. Yeah, I just started off with some swearing in the first minute of my live stream. What the hell does clicking mean? So while I quiet myself here, clickety clacking. I'm clickety clacking. So what does it mean, and who will dare even care to show up? I decided to go live because I'm a little antsy, and I'm in the middle of doing some other stuff that's actually frustrating me. So I needed to do and press the live button to just, with no plan, really no plan, and just to go along with things. So saying that, let's see who shows up, if anything, and who knows how long I'll keep this up. And maybe I'll delete this video, but I could talk some astrology. And if you got questions, please talk to me in chat. Hi, Sarah. I see you in chat. Good evening. It is evening where we are. And already, Kate, what's up? Oh, look at you two. So what do the sisters, by the way, like if we were in the kitchen, if this was the house and your sisters came over, like what would we be eating? Would there be baked goods? What kind of food runs in your family? What's the tradition? Lauren Dawkins, yo, what's up? And Cyborg Memoirs, greetings. Yeah, well, I pressed go live. Because 2 years ago, I set it up to do stuff like this where I would, truly randomly at times here, especially late at night, do this to see what's up. So I know there's a bunch of you there that just showed up here that are watching. Wake me up from this. Tacos. That sounds good. I just ate a bunch of popcorn, and to be honest, I was sitting here before I went on my live stream and I was flossing because I haven't eaten popcorn in a long time. And I was like, I'm going to eat popcorn and have kernels in my mouth. Let's go live. So that's what's up. It's just another day in the astrology world, isn't it? Just another Saturday. Another Saturday, Sunday, depending on where you are, if you're ahead of the game. Just another just chill day. Another chill day in the astrology world. You know, I don't know what people are talking about or what they're into. I know it's Gemini moon. So that's cool, isn't it? I mean, I should have just called this, let's do a live stream because it's a Gemini moon. Who cares about the other planets? What do they even matter? I mean, I don't know what people are talking about today, like what they're into astrology-wise, or what's the trend, the posts today. Wonder what it is. So, that's not why I went live, but maybe we could talk about those things. Maybe you could tell me in chat what happens to be the thing today. There's some sort of conversation. I even saw today, debates like there's people not liking what other people were posting and having to do the type of post. I'm like, I don't know why they're saying that, posting that, because that's not what it really is. Blah 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 blah. It's just like, well, okay, whatever, man. You know what's interesting here about all this? More than ever in our history, that people have a say in astrology and they have some sort of knowledge about it, however deep that is or whatever. Now, I'm going to say something here because it's my damn channel. Experience. Isn't that what Jimi Hendrix said? Old album. Are you experienced? Well, are you? No matter how much you read, no matter how many books you have, no matter what you memorized, are you experienced? And are you down and secure with your world with this? With your world, with your experience. And what I mean by that is, It is an ever-evolving learning process, astrology. No, it doesn't matter how many effing whatevers you know. It is always expanding. You will never know everything. I respect a lot of my elders. I'm gonna say that. I respect a lot of my elders because they've sat, at least from a counseling astrology perspective, they have sat with a ton of clients over a long period of time. Do I agree with the way they do astrology? Nope, I don't have to. One thing I do know is, from my experience, is that experience, above all else, along with one's intuition, is everything. Regardless of astrology or people cards, I'm not into fucking whatever is the thing lately, whatever system is out there mixing astrology with whatever else. I forget what they call it. I'm a regenerator. I'm not into that. It's not my thing. Okay? But go do your thing if that's your thing. But it doesn't matter. Experience. That is something. Hello, the moon. I see you in chat. Holly, hi. Timothy McCown Reynolds. Yeah, that's what's up. It's all about, man. It's all about this, really. You know what? I don't really. I'm just at the mercy of this guy. I'm just at the mercy. I'm at the mercy of all the gods and goddesses. Actually, they're just pulling their fucking strings. It's a big fucking joke, isn't it? They don't. They're just laughing. You know, they just set us on our quest and task. Let's see if Nicholas can do this. I'll bet that he can't. And then the other goddess says he can't do it. And then the secret dealings going on because Mercury just comes along like, I'm going to help you get along and do this. Not just because it's just purely out of Mercury's ice cold mercurial heart. No, because he's got a stake in the game. For whatever reason, we don't know why, but he's got a stake in the bigger game, so he's going to help me along on the quest, or you on the quest. They're pulling our strings. So, Cyborg Memoirs, Creatrix is whatever. Titty and X, hey, and Kate, hi. Hi. I need to pause. I'm looking at my live feed. You can't see this. I should actually, one day before this all changes, show you this whole world that I'm in. So saying that, yeah, Angela R. Oh, hey, I didn't expect this now. Yes, you didn't expect it, did you? I didn't expect it. But you know what you can expect? You watching my subscribers, people who know when I went live or anybody's going to find me, you know what you can expect? You can expect
the weirdness that I take a chance with things. That I will always take a chance and risk. I will risk it all just to stay on an uneven, tangential vibe. Just when you think I get normal, I will deviate, whether it's on this channel, in real life if you see me face to face. Regardless, I will rebel. And if there are those who cannot deal, bye-bye. And those who are willing to ride the wave of unpredictability with me, then we are in a state of ever-evolving creativity. We ride the edge. Don't ever forget that. If you are wondering why things are stagnated in your life, take my advice from a person with some experience. You need to shake it up. Look at it from a different angle. Rebel, smash, crack it open, say goodbye, throw it in the trash, do a somersault in your mind or with your body, 10 push-ups. Shake it up, move the blood in your circulatory system, move the thoughts in your mind, take risks, and if you can do that with the essence in the theme of inspiration and fun, exhilaration, rises from those places. That is why I go live randomly. That is why now I will tell you the truth why I went live. Something did happen today in the astrology world out there. We know, you've seen it, you've heard it. But it's the Gemini moon. As a matter of fact, we are having a nice little Gemini moon with Pluto and the Sun trine. Get used to this. Get used to this air trine business because there's a lot of that coming our way. So, future-wise, when Uranus goes into Gemini, think about that. And Pluto will be in Aquarius. We will eventually have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and fire will connect with air. Will it be an intense Pluto transit in Aquarius for 20 years? Yes, it doesn't matter. Pluto always is. So don't take it too much in. Don't let it put you in a fear place. Let it put you in a mind place. The next so many years out of anything, it will be fire and air. Learn that way, that language. Take the ideas that you have and move them through your body with fire. And take the risk. Take the chance.
So yeah, I gotta deviate, and I gotta do that thing. I gotta do my Gemini and Aquarius thing in me, in my chart. And that I don't have any plan. Honestly, I've been caught up with some other thing I gotta work on. It's driving me crazy. I just, I'm sitting here this week and I'm like, I should have had an outline done for each sign, rising sign, to do a Pluto and Aquarius video for each one. And I'm like, shit, I could do that whenever. Do I have to do it today? No. I wanted to do yearlies for every sign. Couldn't do it. It's okay. It's okay. Am I gaining subscribers and followers when I do the regular videos? I am. I will. But I have to be loco sometimes. ¿Comprendes? Sin normal. Hi, Lucid Ann in chat. Cookerzilla. This is for Cookerzilla. This is for Cooker.
Hello, Cookerzilla. I see you in Akron, Ohio. What are you doing there? I hope you get paid. I hope you're getting paid. I hope. Do you hear me? Hopefully you're wearing your headphones. If you're wearing your headphones, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine your heartbeat from left to right. And how the messages enter through your heart.
Good to see you, Cookerzilla. And hi, Jesse Violetta. Hola. Kate. Samesies, Angela. Okay, you guys are all talking over there. You guys are talking over there, aren't you? Aren't you? All right, so listen, no plan on this live stream. You want to ask me a question in chat, go ahead. You can talk about whatever. We could talk about whatever. We want to talk about how I'm cheering for the Buffalo Bills tomorrow? Yeah, I'm a football fan. I'm cheering for them because I want them to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? I don't even care. I don't even want to look at the astrology of it. I don't care. I hope they win. I got my reasons. What else? I'm working on a podcast right now. I'm working on a podcast episode that I did it last Norwalk. It's just in the damn queue. I just got to finish editing it tonight or tomorrow morning. But that is coming. That's happening. Those are my Patreon members are going to get that first. And I think tomorrow, my Patreon members are going to get a message from me that possibly next week we're going to do our monthly live private Zoom that I've been doing the last couple of months. It's something out that I'm trying that a typical person does with their Patreon. And I'm going to do that. We talk about stuff. Last time we talked about Mercury stuff. So, but I don't know. I mean, what else happened today? Did something happen in the astrology world today? Like something is happening? I mean, I don't know. I didn't feel anything except weird, but I always feel weird. I feel antsy. I need a release. I need an outlet sometimes. For my mind. All right. Saying that, I'm working on a little something behind the scenes here, and I hope it's going to work. And I see a question in chat. Moonsprout asks, what advice do you have for someone who doesn't know the birth time? This is a very good question because I'm actually dealing with that with a couple people right now in my world. And I will tell you that the best one could do is to try to find their birth time. Please try to find it. Now, there are situations that people have. They're adopted. They were in a different part of the country at a different time where it wasn't recorded. They were born out in the middle of the woods or some shit. Whatever. Actually, I get better birth times from people that weren't born in the facility than out there, because it's just different. But basically, if one was to look at something like that, the best you can do is, have the day in the city and look at things. Now, there are other astrologers out there who specialize in rectification. This is what they call it when they don't have a birth time. And they're taking in, and this is a lot of money, man. They're like, you're paying some dollars to do this because sometimes it's over time, many sessions. But people are rectifying and they're taking they're going to ask you for like a ton of life events that have happened in your life. Like, hey, what are the top 10? This is when you got married or you got divorced. It's when you got in a car accident. It's when someone passed away. It's when you had babies. It's when you graduated. This is when you, what's something that I would put on the list? When I dropped acid for the first time. So, the most important things in life. And so they take that and they can go back using techniques to line up events and try to find that place in the day or the hour or whatever that you were born, it's rectifying. You'll never know, but there's technique involved and other arts and there's intuition. But I honestly, lately I've had a couple clients where they've had a rough time, but they didn't know for sure. And let's say within that period of time that the rising sign changed. That's why we really want to know birth times, is because it's really dialing in the rising sign and midheaven and the bottom of the chart. A couple other things too, but because of the conversation I had, we kind of dialed in that at least we figured out they were this rising sign compared to the other one where it switched within the hour. Within 1 hour, it switched there. So we kind of figured it out. Like we kind of went there, So there's that. But basically, I don't do rectification, but I know people who do and specialize in it. You're paying dollars, though. You're paying dollars. So, but I've also done sessions for people who didn't know their birth time with that caveat. Like, hey, listen, I can't tell you exactly where it's happening in your chart. Let's just say like there's a Venus retrograde happening in let's just say a Mars retrograde is going to happen at the end of this year, right? It goes Cancer into Leo into Cancer. I just wouldn't know where in the chart if you did know the time that day. Now, I do have things that I tell my clients. If they don't know, but it's around a time, do you have any siblings or parents you could talk to? And hopefully they can. They're not in like a bad zone with them or other people, and I ask them, ask about the day before, the night before you were born, and actually the day after. And sometimes when people do this with their family, they start to hear stories about what was happening the day they were born or the day before, the night before. And weird things start to come out in those memories of like, oh, your dad was watching some sitcom and then my water broke. And then like right there, I'm like, okay, the water broke. Then it was like, sometimes you start, my mom said it took like 10 hours I was in the hospital. So like, if the water broke at night and then they rushed to the hospital and we 10 hours in the middle of the night, then we know we're getting to a place. It's weird things like that too that can help fill in things, is asking. Now, if you can't ask about your past and stuff, you're limited. But I've done sessions for people saying, hey, if I don't have your birth time, I could take a look though where the planets were the day you were born, and you can get a lot of information from there. You can see the moon phase and you could see things. So, but yeah, in particular, this goes back to the beginning of the live stream. Experience to me is everything. So if you were to get a rectification done and you were going to spend the dollars, I would go look at somebody who was doing it for 10 years more or plus or more. Okay, so what's going on here? I got to look at chat. But that's me. It's my channel, my opinion. Are we on the age of Aquarius? Not officially. A lot of Aquarius, though. Devon, hey, buddy. What's in chat? Re-engineering time itself. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Oh, people are mentioning Orphic Astrology. Yeah, they have their way of doing it. They also do a lot of fixed star work. Robert Hand, Angela says, he's like one of the ones. If you actually go to Robert Hand's site, I don't know if he still has it, he'll actually say what he needs from you, and it has to do with the questions. Okay, by the way, I'm looking at a desktop chat. Okay, you can't see this. He's going to see this. Oh, you can't see it. Anyway, I'm looking at a desktop chat, and like the bottom part of the chat, YouTube, I can never fully read the last comment because they have the emoji button there. It's like, when are they going to fix this? What do you use when the moon changes signs that day? I think that's what you're asking. What do you use? What do I mean? What do I use? Can you clarify? What do you use when the moon changes sign that day? Like which moon sign do I pick? Because that's a good question that comes up all the time. And if I didn't have the birth time and stuff, I would be definitely looking to the rulers of the moon. So let's say we're in Moon in Gemini right now. We just entered that here not too long ago, and we were in Moon in Taurus. So earlier today there was Moon in Taurus into Moon in Gemini. So I'd be looking at what Venus ruled moon or Mercury ruled moon to help me out with things. If that is what you're asking. Which moon do you pick? I don't know. I pick one. If we didn't know the birth time that day and there was a moon shift, I would not be picking anything. It would be a conversation I would have with a client. Still want to do this reading? If we don't know your moon, something happens that day, but maybe we can help dial it in. And that's okay. Now here is the other thing. Experience is everything. And listening, talking to people, and it could help you out. You have a good conversation, and it might take a couple, but maybe they can help pick something. But that's a really good question about the moon stuff. Happens sometimes. All right, y'all are talking in there. And yeah, so there's that. Okay. I need to see something here if something's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. Is it going to work? Got some astrologers in the chat too. I know y'all are studying all at your different levels. I ain't going to judge you. I will tell you though. This is the reminder. That experience is definitely something. Now, let's say somebody's in their mid-20s doing astrology. A lot of people are doing that. They haven't hit their Saturn return yet. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so saying that, I got people in front of me years ago because I called this shit out. But this is my opinion. It doesn't matter. But I think a lot of times when people are studying astrology, and now more than ever, when I was running a link me and a fucking link tree and all this shit, and all these like hyper-capitalistic models that make it really easy to make $1. That's why experience is everything. But even back then, what was going on when people were learning, let's say you were in your 20s, that you were doing charts with your friends and your family and your crew or a group that you were in. So it wasn't online per se. Like people are always conversing online in groups. Do they still do that? I hope they do. That needs to make a comeback. Not on Twitter and Instagram or whatever. It actually, like, forums are making a comeback. They should. So anyway, it would happen in person that you would do charts together, or you would do them with your family and friends. But a lot of times you would do charts for people around your age. And I think that doing that with experience, there is a connection there. Now, there isn't the experience per se of someone who's been doing it for a longer period of time, but it's a different experience, I think, when you're doing that and you know your limits, that you know what you can and cannot do, right? And knowing that and being humbled by it at the same time being open. And I think naturally, organically, you meet people that are the right clients for you in the time that you are at the level that you're at, that you meet those people. Yeah, I think if you're standing in honesty and being humble to a craft, that you bring those people in. And that's how it happened to me. Have I messed up and have I gone too far and have I pushed the boundaries and did some stupid stuff? Like I was thinking I knew this and that, or the times I was hired by somebody who was in their 50s and I was in my late 20 somethings. I'm like, this is weird. But they were cool. But there's times where I think I pushed the boundary thinking I knew everything. And I didn't. I was always brought back down. You take that kind of thing, you bring it into a model of the way things are now, you see a lot of misuse. Now, you're also going to hear people not liking what I'm saying. And they're going to say like, well, I've had a horrible reading for someone who's been doing it for 40 years. True. It happens. It totally happens. We take things in the context. So I'm not saying for you to not do anything or an experience, but I do meet plenty of people. Later millennials, like early or later, like they're still younger millennial or Gen Zs. I have met them. I have met them where they're like humble. They're the type of people who are like, no, I can't put my website out yet. I don't think I'm ready. And those are the people I'm like, no. You're the one who I want to talk to. Because they're honoring the game. Not just how many books they studied. I read all of Valens. I can recite Valens on Astro Twitter whenever I fucking want. I don't give a shit about that. I give a shit about the people who are sitting there, regardless of age, who are humbled in the game and know where they're at with it. And a lot of times, they're the people that are like, they're aware and concerned of like how they will be interacting with people, no matter where they are at the level of astrology, tarot, whatever. So it's like, for me, that's the person I'm like extending my hand to. Oh, I got a hookup for you. Actually, you should go to this conference. You should read this book. You should check out this program. Here, let's sit down and talk. Those are the people I'm like, I want to talk to because because they actually can learn a lot from me. And I usually learn a lot from them. And you get past the competition of things and the need to like having to perform. And not only that, going online to perform. And causing a ruckus online to get your hits, to get your readings. These other people I'm meeting, they're humble. They don't want to play that game. It's played. So, my opinion, that's some thoughts. If you're out there and you're studying, and you got some questions, you hit me up privately. I always talk when people are like, hey, what's this and that? And I go, I'll tell you. This is what I know. This is where you can go. Or you want to do a one-on-one session about this, paid? Yeah. Or I go check this person out. It's right up your alley. But honestly, I would gauge and I'll be like, why are you really asking me? Most people who would come and message me or come humbly to someone who's been in the game or whatever else, they're usually really open and grounded, and they're really self-critical of themselves. And they're usually the people that should put the shingle up. You know what I mean? So anyway, looking at the chat, I'm still going with experience. Listen, I've been studying since I was in my 20s. I met some Scorpio person that got me into the game. I wasn't doing any readings. It was a long time. I was a professional photographer. I was in the music scene. I was shooting. I was still doing astrology. I was still studying it. And it was coming up for levels for me. That's how it was. It wasn't completely like, I need to do this now and blah, 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 and my shingle's up at the door. I'm glad I didn't do that. But I have my own path. It's my own thing of how I did it and where it went. And I'll tell you, after all these years, and I'm dating myself here. This is when I first come in. It was early 90s. And when I was coming through or whatever, I learned about occult stuff back then, which became a hipster thing the last 10 fucking years. So whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm glad people have found it. I'm glad the texts are out there. That's accessible for everybody instead of having to dig through used bookstores and finding the weirdos in the corners at the goth clubs who knew what was up, at least from the occult angle of things. But it's like, for me, that's how it happened. But I'll tell you, regardless, my opinion, I don't give a F about what anybody thinks. What's the word I'm going to say? Experience. Experience. What is going on with my deal? Why is it doing this? What? Here, no, Nicholas, no. Hold on, people, hold on. So what the hell is, there, it's like there. If I go like this, and then I go like this to correct it, I think I'm doing this right. And then, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna go like that. No. Nicolas. There? Is this going to do it? It's going to be rough and ready on this stream. It's like whatever. And why? Why am I saying this? Why? Because I'm going to take a phone call. So here, this is the deal. I don't know if this is going to work, but give it to me. If you've never been called on here, call. If you've called, don't call. Let's see. Let us see. And tell me about your experience. I'd like to know about your experience. And not just in the astrology thing. Just give me it. Let's take a look at your chart. You want me to look at your chart? Got some astrologers in the chat. We could talk astrology, whatever else. Let's see if my new contraption is working. I hope. I hope this damn phone thing's going to work. It might not. Because I didn't test it. But let's see. Oh, I got to fix this right here. Blah, blah, blahs. That's the chart in front of me. Let me fix that. Ooh, let me fix this. Who dares? Who dares call me? I don't like the way I have the damn chart. Why was the scene that I created different? Wake me from this while I wait for anybody's going to call. It's like when I see a graphic designer have one job for a year and then they add their own freelance business on LinkedIn and call themselves a creative director. That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, I get that. But yeah. With Angela says, with the creative direction thing is the quality of the product gives the experience away. Trickier in a one-on-one setting with a client when an inexperienced person. True. That is very true. Listen, some experienced person do damage. Yeah, it's context here, but I don't care. You know what's up. I could say this after the last 5 or 6 years in my personal life and in the astrology world. I could say what I'm saying. Now, if I have some older astrologers that go, Nicholas, man, you could probably add to your game and to your deal. And I'd be like, true. Thanks for saying that. maybe you're right, maybe you're not. I'm listening. But I could say I have my own way of doing things. I'm always trying to learn. But I've been around for a while now. I've made some mistakes, and I've learned from them. And some of those mistakes, they brought me to a place of getting training or learning more. Oh, there. Somebody was calling, but I don't know why I'm not seeing this shit. Let me see if this is going to work. Why? See, I didn't hear the phone call coming through. That's what's weird. So this might not work. Hold on a second. I think I'm doing something wrong. And this might be the first time ever that I don't get this going. I wonder if it's because of this. Give me a second. This might not work tonight. But this is what happens. This is what happens. Mute. And there's that. And why isn't it coming through? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect.
I'm trying to call you back. I'm trying to call you back. Do it again. I'm screaming into the mic. Sorry. It went straight to your somethings. Okay, my face isn't like this. This is what happens in a total impromptu stream. I don't think I'm going to leave this up. Oh, there, Nicholas. All right, so let me try again. Myla Razan. Let's do this.
Hello. Please state your name.
Nope. Call me back because I'm hitting the machine. And tell me in chat, did you hear me do that? I need to know. Doesn't seem loud out there. Hello, Sparkles of Gold.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can. Are you getting an echo or anything? I can.
Yeah, well, not yet, but you just don't sound loud enough in my headphones, and I want to know why. And
okay.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me try here. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing something. Oh.
Yeah, okay. What I need you to do is whatever you're watching me on, I need you to not have that sound in the background.
Okay, so I can mute it.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm muting it.
Cool.
Okay, you're now muted on YouTube.
And what do I call you?
Myla.
Myla. Give me a second, Myla. I have to talk to everybody watching. Everyone watching or people in the chat, I need you to tell me if this is coming through, if you can hear this, okay? Because I haven't done this in a while, and my technology is changing. And Kate says, yes, they can hear. All right. This is good. And Myla, Myla, by the way, my name is Nicholas. How are you?
Hi, Nicholas. This is fun. I just happened to see that you were streaming live, and I saw you were taking phone calls, so here I am.
Myla, I'm curious. How did you happen to see me? Did you get a notification that I was live? Were you just surfing YouTube? How did it happen?
Well, I am subscribed to your channel, Nicholas.
Ah.
And I think I may have found you through Rick Levine. Aren't you involved somehow?
Rick and I are definitely involved.
Yeah. So I think I met you in the chat a while back.
Maybe when I was helping Rick do a live stream at Soul Food, possibly.
I imagine that's how it all happened.
Ah, that's great.
So I think I interacted with you in the chat there.
Okay.
And then I subscribed to your channel, and here I am, and I'm an astrologer too, although I'm more of a closet astrologer because I'm involved in all kinds of stuff that at any rate, I've been studying astrology and pretty serious about astrology for many decades. I'm probably a contemporary of Rick Levine.
Okay, I want you to listen to something here. Okay, pay attention.
I'm paying attention.
You have experience. You know, you say decades, and I believe you. And when you say closet, now I get what you're saying. But I'm going to tell you something here before we get to the next step here, Mila. You know, my experience in the astrology world and stuff over the years, like going to conferences and stuff and meeting people, it's amazing when I meet people who no one knows. They didn't write a book or do a webinar or anything, but they've been studying and doing it for a long time. And they happen to be, let's say, in a different part of the country, and they do have a regular job, and they can't be honest about it because of the environmental, cultural circumstances. I don't know what your circumstances. We don't have to talk about that. But I've met so many people over the years who have used the words you have. I'm a closet astrologer. And once I start talking to them, they like know their stuff, and they've been into it for a while. So I appreciate you speaking your truth about that. Are you there, by the way?
I am. I'm listening. I'm watching. You asked me to listen closely, and I have been very.
And you probably noticed that there's a delay when you're watching. Right.
That your words are not in sync with your lips.
Yeah, that's just
because I have to be muted.
Yeah. So, Mila, like, what do you want to do? Like, you wanna talk some astrology? You want to pull up your chart? Like, you want to do something else? What do you feel? You got something to say?
I guess we could. But I can tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
My midheaven is 27 Capricorn.
Oh, wow.
And so I've been having all of this stuff crossing over my midheaven, as you might imagine, and my sun is 2953 Cancer.
Wow, you have a Pluto opposition. So I see. So you were born in the middle of the night, is what you're telling me. Am I correct?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. 11:43 p.m.
Right.
And my ascendant is 12 Taurus. So I've also had a lot of stuff going on in my on my ascendant and my midheaven. Right, Jupiter, Uranus affecting.
Yeah, you have fixed angles, so you've had a interesting, probably since 2018, interesting life, things happening to you, hitting your fixed angles.
Yeah, my life's been
that's a way to, just to let you know, I have a 25-degree Capricorn midheaven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
And a 15-degree Taurus ascendant.
Oh, okay. So we're probably experiencing some of the same. What shall I say, influences on our life direction and etc.
Yeah. And I know I'm still in the remnants of Pluto coming over my 25-degree midheaven. Let's not even think about all the other transits, like we're hitting our angles, right, Mila? Like you and I have similar things, but I'm still dealing with. I won't say fallout. I just remnants are still in my life. Like it's this Pluto signature coming over the top of my chart, and you have that too. But I mean, you have this other thing. Opposite your sun. So it's like, I can't. I'm sure you have a story or two. You don't have to say the story, but I'm sure
I do. I have many.
Yeah.
I would love to go back and tell you that years ago, I studied astrology because I wanted to disprove it. And I spent a couple of years studying closely and trying to disprove it. And then it was very, it kind of turned my worldview upside down when I realized that it really worked. And it was disturbing. But one of the things that I did many years ago was about 3 months before Mount St. Helens erupted, I had been studying earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Was one of my studies a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 months before Mount St. Helens erupted, I figured out exactly when it would erupt. And it was very striking. I don't know if you've ever looked at that particular
I did. I
thing.
haven't, but we're talking 1980, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I got it to the day, and I sent my prediction into the U.S. Geological Survey 3 months before the eruption.
Oh, wow. They're like, who's this? Who's this? What are they? What? They're
Yeah,
like,
no, I actually found someone who was really interested,
oh,
especially, and sent me a whole lot of interesting data.
well, to be clear, Milo, I'm just curious. Was your prediction completely based on astrology? Was it astrology?
Yeah,
Oh.
no, it was absolutely astrological.
And did you
well,
when the information that you gave to them, who was open to hearing it, did you say that it was astrological or?
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing: you may recall that the volcano started bulging on its side, and so it was in the news that there was going to be a major eruption. They just didn't know when it would happen. So at that point, I got my ephemeris out and I started looking at it to see if I could make a determination based on the movement of the planets, etc. And what I found was that one of the things that seemed to be a pattern that I noticed was that the nodes of the moon are almost always involved in any kind of a major earthquake or volcanic eruption.
The nodes of the moon, you said.
Yes. Yeah, that was one pattern that I saw. But do you recall that chart? It would be interesting.
I'm looking it up right now, by the way, just while you're talking. So keep talking to me. Yeah, and I don't know the time. It could be an Astrodianus, but it's interesting because I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now, and let's see. Keep talking to me about this, but it's interesting because right now on the screen I got it up there, and it says on March 27th, a series of volcanic explosions and flows began. So this is a couple months, right? Before the official eruption. Oh, they do have the time. This is great. On May 18th. Is that correct?
Right, yeah. Right. May. It was definitely May.
Yeah, but it looks like there was activity happening before.
Right.
But yeah, so keep going. So this is fascinating. So like what? Go ahead.
So if you look at the chart, and now I'm doing this from memory because I haven't looked at it for quite some time,
mm-hmm.
but Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were all involved, and I think Mercury as well. And there was an opposition, I believe, between. Okay, the Sun was in Taurus, right?
Oh, see, you're dialing in because they're right now. You could see.
Mercury,
go ahead.
And Mercury was probably conjunct the Sun, opposing. Now, I can't see the whole chart on your screen. You've got it cut off. So let's look at it. But it was Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were in this configuration where, okay, so let's look at it. So here we have Uranus opposite the Sun and Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury was, okay. And then you have Neptune 30 degrees from Uranus. Approximately.
Yeah, we're pretty much there. Yeah, so we pretty much have a half what they call. Yeah, keep going. I want to keep going.
So Pluto and Neptune are sextile with Uranus, pretty much at the midpoint, right?
Yeah,
more or less. This is interesting because it doesn't look like exactly the day that I had pinpointed.
Well,
wondering.
I have May 18th, 832. I mean, the city is weird because. Let me change this, but keep going.
Because I think that the Sun was exactly opposite Uranus when the big explosion, the big eruption happened.
I'm curious.
It's like a little bit off, but I haven't looked at it in a while.
I'm curious.
But look at the nodes of the moon, though. noticed that.
Oh no, I totally, and but I have a question for you.
Sure.
Was there anything after your conversations with them or this person after you did this? Was there like a post talk, like, hey, I sent this to you. Hey, I was I was doing astrology. Remember me? That kind of thing. Was there anything like that?
Not much. They just sent me a whole lot of data, and I started really making charts for a lot of major earthquakes and volcanic eruptions after that.
I see. Interesting.
That was kind of what started it. And then I think it was some time passed, and after that there was a steady eruption. It wasn't a violent eruption, but it was a steady eruption. And at that time, as I recall, Saturn and Jupiter were possibly trine or sextile one another. Perhaps Saturn and Pluto. I'm trying to remember, but it was really interesting that there was a similar kind of configuration, but instead of having Pluto and Neptune involved, Saturn and Jupiter were prominent.
Yeah, because in this chart, I mean, there's a major Saturn. Well, if I'm correct here, there's a Saturn-Neptune square that's happening. Am I right? There's Neptune in Sagittarius. Yeah, Saturn there. But somebody in chat right now is making a very interesting point because I will tell you, there's been a resurgence in the last 10 years, very slowly, but in the last 5 years with people getting back into using more ancient techniques that have to do with fixed stars. And Devon in chat is bringing up the 27-degree Taurus sun here, which is conjunct the fixed star of Algol, which isn't the happiest of fixed stars to deal with. So there's that. But saying that, listen, I just put a phone number on the screen, didn't even know how this was going to go there, and you brought this story up, which is wild. I know somebody who was actually born on this day, because I know these transits a little bit because of a friend, but I'm so glad that you brought this up, and I want to say something else. I have a lot of colleagues in the astrology world that came in as skeptics, and they came in to disprove. And there's some of the best astrologers I know. Sam Reynolds is one of them. I don't know if you know who Samuel Reynolds is, but he says this many times because I was a skeptic. That's why I went in on it, to go just disprove it, right? And then it changes life. It changes life. So you're a part of an interesting club of people. Who really ask skeptics too. They don't just say one thing like, no, it's not real. Like I'm a skeptic, I don't think this, and I'm gonna go do the work, spend a year or whatever it is to see if it's legit or it's And usually when I've seen people do this, or you hear stories of that, they are believers. They start practicing with it. So,
and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For a skeptic to have their whole worldview kind of
crack open. It's almost like a Uranus type of cracking open. You know what I mean?
Right. So I had a good friend who's passed away, but her father started the first monthly astrology magazine way back when, and I think his name. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a monthly astrology magazine, and she told me that he also began as a skeptic and wanted to disprove it. And after that became a believer and published a monthly magazine that was very popular. And I wish I could remember the name.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. Yeah. I before we kind of round up and sum it up here, I want to ask you something else, because someone is asking they said something interesting in chat here about you.
Okay, let me look at the chat.
And you can look at it, but I'll repeat it. Holly says, Mila did all of this without computers. Tipping my hat to your efforts and subsequent accuracy. Were you dealing with ephemeris, a book of tables? What were you doing?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was living in Hawaii at the time, and for a long time I didn't have electricity, and so I had an ephemeris, and I was like math was my strongest subject in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I read, and part of my study it was that I would read books. I would read biographies of different people, and then I would do charts for significant times in their lives based on what I read in their biography.
Ah, right.
It was part of my study. It was all, I'm pretty much an autodidact.
Mm-hmm.
I read some books about astrology, but they didn't really do it for me. It was looking at data.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Where's your Mercury?
I have Mercury conjunct Venus at my Mercury 17 degrees Cancer. My Venus is 18 degrees Cancer. They're within a degree of one another in Cancer, with Jupiter trine at 17 Scorpio.
Ah, so you got Jupiter hitting your Mercury and Moon. I see. Okay.
Mercury and Venus.
Yeah.
Moon is conjunct Neptune in Libra, also a tight conjunction.
Okay.
8 and 9.
All right. So okay, cool.
A lot of conjunctions, but this is fun.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you called, Mila. I'm glad you called. And I'm glad that you found me through Rick. I'm gonna talk to him soon. Hopefully, see him soon. So I'm gonna mention, hey, you know what happened on a live stream. So, but I haven't, I don't know if you knew this about Rick, but Rick was in India. He had a workshop there for a month, and he just got back recently. So yeah.
Oh, okay, he got back. Well, I do, I do appreciate what he does. And let me just say one other thing. I have a whole lot of quintiles and biquintiles and deciles and stuff like that in my chart.
You are totally a Rick Levine crew. Yeah, that's Rick Levine right there, and it's a thing actually dealing with. I can't remember what he told me, because I go, Rick, I want to know more about the minor aspects, and he turned around and looked at me. He's like, they're not minor aspects. I forget what he said to me.
Well, before I go, I'd like to tell you one other thing.
Sure.
When I was living in Hawaii, the Dave Brubeck band came through, and I had an opportunity to help with the production, and got to meet the band. Hmm. And one of the saxophone players was into astrology. And so I got the charts of the times and the dates and the charts of the people in the band, and almost all of them had planets on the same 10-pointed star, prominent planets. And so I associate quintiles and deciles with jazz.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because we're in a sense in the end dealing with harmonics too. Basically,
and dealing with spontaneity and improvisation and all that sort of thing. So
Mila, I appreciate you calling and going with the flow on this, and I'm glad you did. Again, Mila, our closet astrologer.
I'm out in the open now, unmasked.
You're a closet astrologer with experience.
All right, my friend.
Mila, you have a good night wherever you are.
Okay, thank you. I'm in Southern California, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Are
you in Washington?
I'm in Portland.
Portland. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I go back and forth because that's where I'm from is Seattle. I was born somewhere else, but it's Seattle, so I have a long history in Seattle in many ways.
Right?
Yeah, Nicholas. Yeah, Sparkles Gold
okay,
Nicholas.
Thanks so much, Nicholas. This was fun.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you called, Mila, and I'm going to say right now, I don't think you're a closet astrologer. I think you're an astrologer, Mila.
Okay. All right. Maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Yeah, no problem, man. You're welcome anytime, Mila. And be good to you, okay?
Okay, thanks so much.
See ya.
Take care.
Closet. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Gosh. I love my life. I love my life because of stuff like that, because of this just stuff dialed in. Didn't know. I was in a weird mood tonight. I went live. I didn't know plans. Like, do I do a power stream where I talk about Pluto for each rising sign? I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then I just started ranting. Mila calls. She got a story. Man, dude, Mila's not messing around here. Good to meet you, Mila. And some great stuff in chat, by the way. The Algol conversation, the volcanoes erupting, the severing of heads, all that kind of stuff. I like that. And you guys are really cool in the chat because you're supporting and seeing, recognizing Mila. I don't know how old you guys are on the chat or what experience you have, but the fact that it tells me right now that you all in the chat, even if you differ from my opinions about some of the stuff I said tonight, that you were supportive of somebody like Mila calling and recognizing game, recognizing someone respecting the game and who has put in the time in their own weird way. Right? Like I said earlier, there's people who got books. Listen, I'm just going to say it. Hella people. They want to be in the annals of astrology. They need to do this book, this thing, make this debate this person here, prove them this, whatever else for those reasons. And it's not my game. Personally, I don't care if I don't want to write a book. I don't care. You got plenty of other people who just do them for straight up passionate, whatever. Like I starts with disproving a skeptic and it goes deeper. Someone's predicting volcanic eruptions, blah, 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 just going on. Who knows what else Mila's done? I'm sure there's experience upon experience and knowledge and piece of knowledge after knowledge that has come this person's way who knows their stuff. Okay, so, and I'm really happy that you all in chat see it and acknowledge it and honor something like that. And so I will look into, hello, I don't do Ash Atush Rajara. Good to see you. I don't do charts through the chat. Just don't do it. And I only take phone calls whenever I want to. So apologize to you here, but I don't do that. That's what I do. But you're welcome here to hang out. Mila says, is my last name Gold? It should be Nicholas Gold. Nicholas Sparkles of Gold. So, but yep. Don't want to use the ban button. I just don't want to do it. So let me go up to the chat. So you guys were conversing here and brought up the Algol thing. Thanks, Devon. Good. Some of you in chat, man, you know what's up. You know what is up. Lucy Fur mentioned one more degree forward on the IC would be the Sabian symbol for a volcanic eruption, 17 degree Virgo. Lucy, I'm curious. Actually, you said Sabian symbols because there's different symbols and degrees, books on that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, and Canada Dry, did you give me a super chat, girl? You don't have to do that. Oh, you did. Canada Dry with a super chat. Hi, friend, for your gear. I love the lives and always send you love and light. Thank you, Canada Dry, for the super chat. No mas, okay? And she said, Canada Dry, I started studying astrology to disprove it also. See? And yeah, so I will go here. It's just interesting. I got to talk to my friend tomorrow who has that May 18th, 1980 chart. She's going to laugh. Nicolas del Oro. But yeah. Yeah. So that's what's up there. So if anybody else has a question, I'm not doing charts in the chat. It's something I do not do. And I don't do that. And especially in high emotional situations, that is for private situations, I do not do that. And there might be other people who do, but that's not what I do. All right. So curious. Give me a second here. It just so happens that I have this book right was next to me. This is a particular fixed star book that Diana Rosenberg wrote in 2 volumes. So volume 1 is Aries through Virgo and the constellation and all the fixed stars that fall in them. And then there's the second one, which I have. But interestingly enough, I have 2 extra copies of the volume 1. and I'm going to put them up for sale like on my Instagram story, cheaper than you get on eBay. But the problem is you're not getting volume 2. You're only getting volume 1. That makes sense. But just because of where we went, I need to look at something here. Just because the book happened to be there. And I am, oh yeah, let me do this too. For those in the chat, what is the website? I think I might get this right. I'm typing it in here. What is it? Maybe I can't remember. What is the Constellations website out there? Maybe Devon, you and chat, a couple of you know. What's the one that has all the info for free on there and it's kind of a cheapo looking website? That's Constellation of Stars. It's Sea of Stars. No, that's a video game. Yeah, I don't know. Help me out here because I want to put the website up. I've done it before. I can't remember. All I'm going to say to someone in chat is looking for advice is you look to those who support you. That's all I can tell you. Can't do charts on the screen. Not going to do that. But what I could tell you is you have to go to where people have your back and support you, whether it's family or friends. That's where you go to. And if it's somebody who's a professional, that's who you go to if you can. Constellation of words. Thank you. Thank you, Cyborg. That's what it is. Thank you. All right, let me get this here. Is this the one? Yeah, it is the one. And we're going to look at something here. I got the slowest damn fade. No, their website changed. Like there's like a thing. It's not working here. That's fun, but let's see the search. All right, there we go. There we go, Algol, right? Oh, there it is. I see the cluster that it's in. Okay, that's a book right there. See, the cool thing about this website, it has references to fixed stars from a couple books. One is kind of a well-known book called Star Names. It's kind of a pink book. I have it on my other shelf. And it's this book. It's this book. If you're gonna get books on fixed stars and stuff, you can find this one cheapo. But there is no definitive fixed star book. There's just a bunch of books, old and new. Okay, so anyway, it's from Star Names. Let's take a look. Let's remember this too, because I just remembered a particular point in time in May. I'm gonna look up the chart in a second here because we're on a free for all here. Wherever we're just going with whatever. I gotta do it this way. Oh, yeah. See, you see here. You see here, the head, like in the constellation, and that Algol is falling right there in the forehead, right? So anyway, so there's that, and let's read from the book. Algol is a bright star positioned on the severed head of Perseus is carrying. It is an eclipsing binary. Every 68 hours and 49 minutes, this demon star blinks for roughly 8 hours as the dimmer star of the pair passes between the brighter and the earth. Okay, so, and then from Bryant's translation of the Iliad, deformed and dreadful and a sign of woe. So this particular fixed star has this connotation in there. The demon star, the blinking demon, is said to have been thus called from its rapid and wonderful variations, but I find no evidence he's mentioning this. But Algol literally signifies mischief maker. The name still appears in the Ghoul of the Arabian Nights of our day. It degenerated into the alove that is often used for some centuries. So anyway, it keeps going here. Let me put this in the chat. Little did I know that this live stream would turn into Algol. Oh my God. Anyway, but you could see more here. I could bring up more references. I'm actually going to run into the room and grab something here really quick, because if I'm going to read anything, but you could see there it is. This particular website is beautiful reference place. And then here it gets to the legend. Zeus visited Danae in the form of a shower of gold and got her pregnant with Perseus. As a young man, Perseus undertook a mission to kill the Medusa. He was furnished with the sword, cap, and wings of Mercury and the shield of Minerva. He killed the Medusa by cutting off her head and afterwards killed the sea monster Cetus and then rescued and married Andromeda. Perseus founded a city, having dropped his cap or found a mushroom. Okay, keeps going. Anyway, it goes on and on. You could take a look at this. And then you could see there's links to the references. Okay, so earlier in the chat, I thanked Devon for a book recommendation. This is the book. Oh, great. Great. And Aesthetic Delta, good to see you. Aqua Gem, good to see you in chat. I might be missing people who have jumped in. So there's that. I'm going to run and jump and get something here. You could probably take a look on the screen, depending on the type of screen. I'm looking at this. Look at Eberton. Elizabeth Eberton's from the Fixed Stars book there. This is a more modern book. Poor teeth. Brutality and violence. Arabic commanders-in-chief in times of conquest made it a point that no battles were begun when the light of Algol was weak. Interesting. If culminating, murder, sudden death, beheading. So you could see the vibe of this. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. All right, let's since we're here, let me see if I can do this. This particular, what I'm busting out here is what I've done on the live stream before. Oh, my desk is completely messy and there's no room. And let's see if I can grab this. You're not knowing what I'm going to do yet. I think I already picked a card and it's not. Where the hell? It's from a deck called the Bohemian Fixed Stars, an Oracle and Guide by Ryan Butler and Terry Johnson. Ryan, as you know, is an amazing astrologer, electional astrologer, medieval astrologer. He knows his fixed star stuff. He did an interesting deck that I love, and there it is. And here is a version of of his card, the Eye of Gorgon. See? Killer artwork, huh? Here's the back of the card, you see? So it's all the Bohemian Fixed Stars, okay? And I want to read from his. I'm just curious. If y'all are into this. Timothy Reynolds says, fun fact, Batman's nemesis, Ra's al Ghul. That's funny. That's really good. Thank you for that, Timothy. Takes his name from the star, okay? And, okay, let me read this. Planet position 26. So we're looking at 26, 27 here. And in this book, he has the stone is diamond and plant is black hellebore. Saturn and Mars is of the nature. And Algol is a fixed star, the Perseus constellation, representing the Eye of Gorgon Medusa, whose decapitated head the Greek herald now uses to combat the sea monster Cetus. Astrologically, Algol is considered one of the most baleful stars in the heavens and often manifests as more conventionally difficult experiences related to loss of power and autonomy. The star's bad reputation stems from the astronomical observation where the star visibly varies in brilliance. In astrological terms, Algol is a binary system, two stars orbiting one another, with one star being noticeably brighter than the other. We mentioned this earlier. From our vantage point on Earth, the two stars will often eclipse one another, creating a menacing winking effect. So there is some person there. As a natal influence, Algol is an ill omen, often warning of danger, specifically danger to the head or neck, either through physical danger such as an assault or more symbolic danger such as extreme emotional and mental duress. It is not uncommon to hear tales of suffering and disempowerment from individuals with Algol emphasized in their charts. I'm going to find these. These cards are really good. And this book he put together is really good. Within the magical context, he says, Algol talismans are themselves weaponized in much the way as the old man would use his ritual head to scare off the deceased spirits of, or how Perseus used the Gorgon's head, petrifying gaze against Cetus. If I'm saying that correctly. Here we seek to create a fearful countenance to reflect or disperse any gathering threat, using the evil eye for safety by frightening off anyone who would seek to do us harm. In his writing, Christopher Warnock often compared Algol talismans to a bulldog, as these talismans actively seek out threats and neutralize them before we become aware of them, often following them back to their source. Therefore, Algol talismans are often described quote-unquote aggressive protective talismans, since they are reported to attack those seeking to harm the individuals under their care. It is more common that protective talismans shield and absorb ill intent, but Algol represents an older magic, seeking to neutralize by a preemptive strike. Above all, Algol believes a strong offense is the best defense. Well, Milo, you brought us on the tangent of Mount St. Helens and Algol. I will put this link. Let me search for it. I will do this. I will search off to the side. Hold on a second. Loading. And I will get this up for you. Shout out to Ryan. And here we go. We're going to see it right here. And it's the Bohemian Fixed Star deck. Great deck. Amazing. Buy it. It's worth it. $30 or something. Ryan's a good guy. I'm on his Patreon. Amazing astrology. You can find out Ryan's YouTube. He's doing 2 forecasts a month, and elections, astrological elections dealing with lunar mansions for the new moon and for the full moon for the second half of the month. A lot of them we get excited. There's a bunch this month dealing after the new moon and stuff because it's been kind of slow lately. It's been that how you say it's been kind of slow. So I will put that here for you all for right there. Devon says the Chinese lunar mansion is called a pile of corpses. That is a band. That is a metal band name. A pile of corpses. So let me get this out of the way. Let me take a look at chat. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm getting close to, I'm past an hour, and might just kind of slow down here and call it quits. Just looking at the chat. John Newton, hi to you. Good to see you, John. And Steffi G, also, I see you in there. If I miss it, people. Lucid Ann tried calling, I think. And whoever else out there is watching. Actually, I got something to say to that. Mila's doing her research. See, you got somebody with Jupiter trying their Mercury and their Venus there is now doing the research, okay? See what's going on here? Jude says, my descendant is 26 Taurus. Ah, interesting. Could see what the other, maybe you have Algol signatures that are outside of you or happened in those 7th housey types of things. Aesthetic Delta, when I had Betelgeuse connection to Aries, Moon, and Mars, I had a random fever out of nowhere. Yeah, okay, so Kate, thank you, Kate, because this is the chart I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring this up, and let's do it. Okay, I actually want to show you something here because this is reminding me of something. You're going to see what I'm going to do here. We're going to go look at Jupiter conjunct the Sun that's going to happen in Taurus. We need to go to a current chart here, and we need to go, we're a Libra ascendant right now, all of a sudden, and Mercury, oh, well, check this out. Mercury's right on my Moon in Gemini is right on my Mercury. A-Team. Famous quote from the show The A-Team. Hannibal would say, I love it when a plan comes together. That was his line, you know. So here is the 18th of May. I want to show you something. You're already looking at what's going on here when Jupiter in Taurus is on its way out. And we're looking here to a major Jupiter-Sun conjunction that's happening at 28 degrees. This 27, 28 degree place that came up tonight is what popped in my brain. And we know eventually, Kate, I think, Kate, this is what you were mentioning here because maybe we're thinking about too, that Venus Jupiter on that day, or Venus Uranus, sorry, is at 23, right? Ooh, what a day, by the way. We're looking ahead. That's a day. That is a day. But let's make a note here that Pluto is retrograde there, by the way. That's happening in May. That's going to go as far as 2 degrees. And we're taking a look here, too. Look at Mars is in Aries. Let's take a look at where's Venus. And Venus is right. Look at Venus is in between Jupiter and Uranus. Okay, let's just point that out. Okay. Yeah, it's just right in there. So anyway, hey, no problem, Mila. It's good to meet you. Good to see you. And yeah, so let's just make a note of this on the 18th. I'm sure there's going to be some people who write about fixed stars and stuff talking about this. It's not, I know about fixed stars. I use them secretly, privately at times. I just don't write about it stuff. Plenty of other people are into it and can write about that stuff. I'm a big fan of Gray Crawford. I just, if you know Gray's work, Gray's done a lot of fixed star stuff, and with his Patreon, and with also on deeper stuff with his partner Jeannie Desert, who's an amazing metalsmith and makes talismans, so on and so forth. They're up in the Olympia crew, the crew right there. I like some of the stuff he's been doing in fixed stars. Orphic Astrology, who was mentioned earlier on her Patreon, does this. There's Bernadette Brady's old school work. There's a lot of people who are into this. Okay, so anyway, I just want to show you the chart. Devon in chat says my son's at 23 Taurus. Well, Devon, get ready. Get ready. Yeah, it's already happening now. We got Uranus. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. So let's just remind ourselves of this, okay? Let's just do it. On Uranus conjunct Uranus. Where am I getting it from? We're gonna do this in reverse. We're gonna just go here to make sure we go to this particular chart. Here is a reminder on this. We're on the Taurus realm of things tonight. We just are, but to remind ourselves of where am I? Of the 21 degree Jupiter Uranus conjunction that's happened on 420. So that's what's up. I think not only will it be an interesting day for a person, life changes here on this spring for a lot of Taurus people who have stuff in the third decan of Taurus, birthdays or things in 9 or 20 degrees to 29, 19 to 29 Taurus. You got a major fundamental moment that's happening in this day. And then we looked at the chart before with Jupiter and the sun at 28 and what's happening. There is a lunation. Let's go look at the lunation because this is I don't care live stream. And we will look at the, here's the new moon that happens on May 7th, 2024 in Taurus. Here we will see at 18 degrees, and we see Venus is in the mix there, but we see now Jupiter is past Uranus here. So it's, when April, we get into this Taurian thing, they're back on stage in a fundamental way from, April all the way to the end of May. It's not just May Taurus birthdays. It's like 2 months of this stuff because you see what's happening. And you see, Mercury's coming out of its retrograde cycle because it was retrograde during the eclipse that happens on April 8th. Here it's going through in Aries, and there's Mars in Aries, so it's interesting. We got Venus and Mars in their domiciles in their home places here. And they're ruling the nodes in here, what's going on here, right? So we got an interesting nodal story that continues after the eclipses, but, for a while here. And I like stuff like this. It's good. And I'm just looking at chat. But yeah, so, this is just, we want to make a note of this, right? I'm wondering why I have soft aspects in this chart. I have my weird thing turned on, but just remember too that we're looking just lunations. Actually, I just saw something. We're looking at Saturn here in Pisces at 17 degrees, and we're looking at the new moon that's happening at 18. We have a nice, beautiful Saturn sextile this new lunation. So besides any of the other things that we're seeing here, that's pretty good. That's really good, and for the most part of a stable force. Venus, obviously we're looking at where Venus and Mars is, right? Oh, also too interesting here that Mercury is making a conjunction to Chiron on that May 7th new moon. And if I'm correct, no, I'm not correct. some of these points, the Scorpio risings out there and people with Scorpio planets, it's not just the Tauruses we're talking about. This is the reminder of this. Some of the stuff, the charts that we've just had up, that you got to go look to your Scorpio stuff or your Scorpio rising or your Scorpio planets to see. You got stuff at 19, 20, 21, 18, 28, some of these major things we are saying. And, I think if you're a Scorpion rising, have certain things, and let's say you have Mars in Scorpio, you had the Cazimi that happened at the end of the year, whatever the case is, this period in time is interesting because the ruler of a Scorpio ascendant will be Mars in Aries at this time, with having all this Taurus stuff in a Scorpio rising's relationship house, open enemies, all that kind of stuff. Wait. I don't like what I just said. Let me do something here. I just pulled a little thing that I use, and let me do something here. So, there's that. Let me look at chat. Jude, what is the sign that you have under Scorpio? What, Jude, you have to clarify. You mean the planets? Because the sign is Scorpio. Devon, I'm also having my LB level 2. Wow, that's a huge shift, brother. That's a big deal, man. Oh, dude, you're not going to be the same after this year. You're not the same. Start packing it back. Start making the changes already, because you already know what's coming. Just you might as well be driving the wheel. So Canada Dry says, Nicholas, I actually have an astrology question. Do you always use the decans, and how much should we apply to them in practice? I do. I don't want to talk about that live on air. I do use the decans in a way, but only when I feel called to or I'm into it. I don't make that part of the front part of my practice for my own reasons. But if you're into it, do it. Yes. Okay. So, hey, middle of the night, 30 people watching. Thank you. Thanks, for going with the flow on a Saturday night. I barely mentioned a certain planet here. I did a live stream without mentioning whatever people have been talking about today. I think I mentioned the planet once. Jude, what is the sign that you have under Scorpio? Oh, I said earlier I'm a Taurus ascendant. So you figure out where my Scorpio part of my chart is. So there's that. I talked about this. I showed you a book that I'm going to have extras to put up for sale. We talked to somebody on a surprise phone conversation. What else am I missing here? Oh, I will show you something that I created. Actually, I really like it. I think I did a good job with it. And it's here. I will bust this out. I don't know if the sound's going to come across. But today, the ESAR Instagram, esarastrology.com, major, incredible organization, put out a post today for, I'm going to say it now, for the Pluto and Aquarius transit. And you see this interesting, do I have the sound? I don't know if it's going to come through. Might be feedbacking. Dig it? That's some cool stuff right there. I made that. That's me. That's my post. I sometimes do the social media for, no one knows this. Don't know it now. Somebody else, esarastrology.com. Been busy with other stuff. Don't know. I don't know. I made that in the middle of the night last night. And I'm like digging it. I wasn't smoked out. I wasn't on any ketamine or like mushrooms. I was on Nicholas. I was high on sparkles of gold. And notice I just had to. I had to put the sparkles up, to get this thing. And I didn't want to do a brooding post. I didn't want to do that. So I did this kind of like vibrancy, and I put Pluto. You can see I put Pluto down at the lower chakras. You feel me? I don't know if anybody was catching this. I put this there like Pluto's coming in, right? Is Pluto's coming in here, and then I was like, I don't know. I just ended up there. I just ended up in the lower chakras, but then it coming through with this thing, and then having the Aquarius glyph on the top Will it be all magical looking and feeling like this? It can be. It can be. Not the whole time. Remember, people, there's the politics and the big world out there. And there's always amazing shit, but most of the time we accentuate the horribleness. Will there be more horribleness this year? There will be. It's always been that way. Depending on one's just way they stand in life, you got to remember to bring the amazingness into things. And if it's in the most subtle ways in your daily life, and you can't look at the phone and you're concerned politically, I get it. You're into it. But listen, you can't. Here's my thing about Pluto and Aquarius, I will tell you, okay? You know, you can't be if you were to join in some sort of collective something, right? Because people are the collective movement, revolution. Sure, we only say revolution to something recently because of the French Revolution, stuff that's happened with the United States, because of some reoccurring transits with Pluto and Aquarius. So we could say that, but revolution means different things to different people. There's revolutions that happen on the other side. There's people on the other side of the revolution who don't want the revolution. You know what I mean? Or they have their own revolution. So you have to take things and step out of it. And I know we put our biases in and our beliefs, into things and thinking this is going to happen. Now, side note, personally, is there a movement that deals with changes in economics that's for the better for us? Most of us who are struggling? I want that to happen. I've wanted that to happen since I was 8 years old. Okay? So it's like, for me, it's like there's that. But saying that, remember, you can be at your best if you do have something you want to be together in community-wise or collectively, and whatever it is, that you are your best when you take care of your shit first, when you are dialed in on your own authenticity first. And considering this transit is happening for 21 years, really-ish, this is a long game. This is a long game. I'm not trying to put you down. Hence, I made this post for Esar to make it like, hey, man, we're about to do something. It kind of has a 60s-ish psychedelicness to it, doesn't it? There's purposely I did that just because I have my reasons. I won't say what they are. But, what I'm saying, is it starts here. Your revolution, your healthy detachment, your need to break off. If you notice that, let's say it's happening in the Aquarius part of your chart, or it's connected to other things, then go. You're there. I feel you. I'm with you. But remember, it's a long game. And first and foremost, you have your own story of authenticity and the need of a independence, the need for something new, and how you construct that in your mind, how you refine that thing, and then how it comes across, right? And a lot of times let's say we take the bigger picture as in the world and community and stuff. And does this pause? Yeah. Let me pause it right there. I tried to there. No. Let's do it again. Let's pause it there. So it's like if you by one becoming their in understanding their own autonomy and waving their own independent freak flag high and learning what that is and going through the motions that, whether it's in your relationship realm, your whole life, it's the money house for you, like whatever it is, you got to do that, get used to that and live in that space. A lot of the times, if people are doing that, it is organically, synchronistically inevitable, where then you, by being in your autonomous space, you get to be you and bust and break off the labels and structures that you thought you had to live in for something else that you feel called to, that it's your own something. That when you do that, and let's say you walk out the door to go get lunch, it just so happens that a bunch of other people who've been doing their own autonomous story, their presence in authenticity, they happen to walk out the door at that afternoon at the same time. and you run into them. And you respect the game. Like, oh, I respect you. You're doing this, working out. Yeah, I got this new thing going on. Like, really? Like, wow, you changed your name. Like, yeah, I moved and whatever else. And then like this whole thing, I did too. But then it's like there you find the humanness that even in difference is commonality just from the base core of things. And through by being your own uniqueness and someone else being their own uniqueness, I think organically connect in some way, and you find the place that you connect in by still staying your authentic individualistic self. And so can you still be that way and still participate with your friend or pals or family or crew or community or group, whatever else, and still have that one foot in, one foot out of the other way back at your place by yourself in your own way of doing things and back there, and you find that commonality, and that's how movements are started. That's how things change, And so the other thing I'm going to say to this is that it's not just remember how much mind air we have coming on here, this era of air, and Uranus is going to go into Gemini. We got a hint of it this in June. Jupiter going to go into Gemini. Right? All this stuff. And then, air and fire. A lot of air and fire in the next couple of years. But we got to remember, we're already here. We already have a lot of this. It's just a refinement of how we do this. But we don't want to lose everything under here. Right? That's why I did Capricorn transits like we're having now. That's why I did Taurus transits, Earth transits, bring us back down. Set up pillars and foundations. We want to remember those things when we get up here. We're already in our heads. A little too much, I would say. But when we get to like our individual autonomous selves, and then we get to a collective level where we're doing something, which I know a lot of you want, you'll be ready. And that person will be ready. And you know that it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in phases. Trust me. I don't know everything about this, but I know in my own life when it came to movements or certain groups of people that I've been involved in from the early 90s till now, and whatever type of movements, political or musical or artistically, that it was waves that we were riding, and that there's certain people, the times we would go out and try to manifest and change things, and we put everything into it, and then we would be depleted, and you'd have to catch yourself when you need to go back into the place to chill and regenerate yourself after you've been, taking in whatever that wants to put you back in the normal mode away from your autonomy, and you got to go remember to regenerate. But if we do this right, that means there's a whole nother crew that is aligned with you that comes and takes your place, and they do it for you. And so by supporting, they'll be supporting you, and you support them by making other things back in your place that are new and inventive to help support this ongoing movement, okay, that you all are seeking on a bigger level. But first, it's your own way, breaking off, your own individuality, your own authenticity. That's where it starts. That's where you can make the biggest effect. Rick Levine, you've come up in this live stream a couple times. If you're watching, you will. It's something that Rick says a lot on his for years. What is it? He says, think globally, act locally. And that might be a 60s, 70s term, but it's definitely real and doable, and it works. So rant aside, go like the post on Instagram, okay? I made that one. It's trust me, I'm a brooding Saturn dude. I'm definitely a Pluto person. I could have did something else. I could have done something else. All right, it's time for me to go. Let me look at the chat before I leave, and then Zelda Lane, thank you for your super chat, Zelda Lane. I dig that name. 5th super chat. Right on, Zelda Lane. I appreciate you. I see you up there, Zelda Lane. That's good. Zelda Lane says, by the way, earlier, if I were to join into a collective something, I would inevitably become the exception of the group based on the truth speaking. That's always the thing. When I was involved a long time ago as a small peg in the craziness and wildness of Occupy Seattle, which was 2011. I was on some social media or live stream teams. There's a bunch of us. I met so many wild people during all that from everywhere. But, they would do these general assemblies and have these progressive stacks. What they call it progressive stacks, as in when the general assemblies happen, wherever we're doing them, progressive stacks, they were putting people that don't normally have the power of the mic traditionally to the front of the line, whether it was women or people of color, whatever, and I get it. And then we get, and a lot of us didn't understand it, didn't know that. And it was always crazy. It's just even getting to do that, to get through something like that. And then there was the actual words being spoken and truth and having to listen and hold space, and then the debates and blah, blah. This is just humans. And what mostly I learned from that whole thing that I was involved in, and it definitely took a couple lifetimes out of me, that it is complex, the ills of the world and the things that we want to change. But you shouldn't give up. And you have to know that the steps, if you're going in these directions, that it requires a long-term focus, and it requires people from all different places and ages and experiences to put it together to try to change things. It's not just like that. There's flashes of that, but a lot of times it is simply like understanding what one's own truth is, and then speaking that truth with other people that you think you're aligned with. And there's times it's kind of weird. And then let's say you have to decide to do something collectively as a group or a crew. It's always been a thing in our history of how people do this, if they even can. And if they even pull something off, it's a miracle. So anytime you see any movement out there in this next coming year and they pulled something cool off, know that there's probably a lot of debate and arguing and also complete and utter spontaneity in it all. and that's how it happens. But we first and foremost do have to speak our truth. I'm going to something that Zelda Lane is saying here. I would become the exception of the group based on truth speaking. Well, Zelda Lane, I think you and a lot of other people in the next couple of years with a lot of air transits and Pluto are all going to feel like they become the exception to the group, or the exception, or need to leave the group to find the other group because of the journey that will happen with authenticity. So thank you for the super chat. And I'm looking at the chat. It's time for me to go. And Kate's got to embrace and embody the theory of how you envision your life. Use the blueprints, the architect of Aquarius. Well said, Kate. And Zelda Lane, did you come at me again? Zelda Lane, oh, thank you. You don't have to do that. The people who donate to my Patreon on this stream, I use the money for specific reasons. Sometimes I say it's for flaffles, and only 10% of it's for flaffles, but it's actually for technology reasons and things that I'm working on behind the scenes to enhance my stream this year. You're going to talk about somebody who's going to do some weird stuff this year. I'm already doing it. Go look at my Instagram last night. You'll see already what I'm starting to do. Esmeralda, good evening to you. And Mila says, I still work with people I met during Occupy LA Venice. Me too. I still run into them. I don't work with them, but I still run into crew, like some older crew. I have a couple of people lately in Seattle that I've talked to online. They're like, remember? And I'm like, yeah, I remember, man. I remember. There's a lot of good that came out of that, though, too. There's a lot of good. And we're seeing it today. We see it, and we will see it, And even before that, with WTO and all that, there's stuff that gets carried. Again, it's a long game. Thank you again, Zelda Lane. Yeah, all right. So let me wind down. Okay? Let me get this out of the way. Let me do this first. Hey there, May 7th. Look at that. Hi, you know what? I want to just see something really quick. Just because we were talking about it, I want to see this. This is May 25th, by the way. See Jupiter? I don't know if you're paying attention. See when Jupiter goes to Gemini? Woo-wee, man. I'm telling you, May's a month for me. That's for sure. But anyway, but yeah, check it out. Jupiter. We're going to have we had a Jupiter-Venus conjunction. Let's take a look at that. Got to remember something here. Because let's do Venus conjunct Jupiter there. Yeah, see, it happens on the 23rd officially. Oh my God, that's right. I remember now. Oh, this is huge for me. Anyway, the Jupiter-Venus conjunction, that's 29. Remember, this is the whole week with Jupiter-Sun. We looked at earlier. We have this official conjunction, and then remember what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have Mercury go through the sun. We're going to have Mars in Aquarius touch the sun, and we're going to have Venus go through the sun. Okay? Or through Pluto. Sorry, through Pluto. Those are all Pluto conjunctions, right? So we have the Pluto sun today, right? 29 degrees Capricorn officially. Then we got Pluto in Aquarius, whatever the case is. 29 degrees is going to happen, right? So then let's just go by the day. Just because. Now, next day, Venus goes into Gemini. 2 days later, there's Jupiter. Jupiter goes into Gem. But you're going to see what's going to happen here. Then we have Venus creeping up. Not creeping up. Venus in Gemini is flirting with the sun, is getting together with the sun for its moment right there. Is it there? 14, 15 degrees. This is on the 5th. And, we just had a Mercury-Jupiter conjunction. We're going to go another day where it looks like we're going to the new moon. Let's just skip to that. The new moon, boom, is on the 6th right there. And here, as we see, we're just doing research live on air. We have a 16-degree. Amazing. That's right. I just remembered everything. I have this on a list somewhere for the year. We have a Venus new moon, Venus conjunct the new moon. That's going to happen there. And if you're catching this, it's applying to Saturn and Pisces. So Saturn is squaring this. It's a way to start it all off. I have to set it off right there. That's a toughie. That could be as tough. And so anyway, just to point that out, since we were talking about Jupiter and talking about air, we're about to have a lot of it. And let's point out here, we'll start from the beginning. We'll go all the way to here. We'll start at 0 degrees Gemini. Why am I doing this? Because we know retrograde Pluto right there is at 2 degrees. Now we're coming to the place sort of where we are now. And so here we go. Here we'll start hitting the 2 degree mark of things. Here's the sun does its trine to Pluto. Here's Venus trine that happens pretty much there. Pluto goes to 1 degree. You see the Jupiter trine Pluto, retrograde Pluto. That's gonna, you see this? This is so awesome. Just stuff like this. You have Jupiter Pluto trine, and then we keep going. And there is the official there, right there. That's the 30th of May. And that's how we're coming into June. That's how we're coming into June. You're welcome, Jude. Zelda's a Gemini sun, Sag moon, full moon person. Kate's been coming down through fever through the stream. Feel better, Kate. 29 Taurus, I know that very well. Angela R. Right there's my solar return. It is. It is. Lucy, thank you. Thanks y'all for going with the flow tonight. And for those not in chat watching, I have a message for you. And let's do it.
Do I do it this way? I could stick to my game. I could keep it
In the delay. Round.
or back down. Down into the lower chakras. Down
there's that too. I can leave this way, but I kind of like the other way. I kind of like the
this way. I appreciate you too, Devon. Hopefully you can make it Tuesday nights. The meeting is Tuesday. It's at the place, for those watching. There is difference. It's inevitable. The difference between people. And times there may seem caustic or like conflict. What I can say after crashing and burning in my life in so many different ways is I understand sometimes it's a survival mechanism to avoid conflict, to protect yourself. I get it. I understand that. But there's an art to all of this. The conflict is needed. I'm not talking about war. I think that's bullshit. But I'm talking about conflict between friends, family, lovers, acquaintances. And if you can find the bridge back to be in presence with each other, that a lot of times conflict brings what is needed up to the surface. And through grounded, healthy, honest conversation that isn't coming from a wild or boundaryless emotional place, but that is contemplated and paced in the way where all parties are heard. That is how we take steps in life, and that is how we define ourselves through the mirror of other people. And if you somehow make it through that, it is only stronger. Remember this year, if it's a internet comment section or some other place where you've seen now, you know what happens after all these years on the internet. The way people come at each other, don't like to listen. Or you can post or be in the most positive sense, but there's people that come in who just want to douse that beauty. They don't like that others might be feeling good or having something good happen. I think at this point any of you know how to handle that. Now when it comes to people that are closest to you, it's okay in a paced, healthy way to reconnect the bridge. And sometimes you have to take a chance. You have to take a chance with your heart and your mind and speak your truth. But sometimes you have to reach out. A lot of times we wait for each other to do that. But it's not about winning or losing. We have to drop that. We have to trust the magic of being human. To connect, to bridge, where we can still be ourselves, but still connect. This is how the planet keeps going. This is how stories and myth are made. As always in the end on this channel, I always come from a place really of love. Am I a tough son of a bitch? I am. Am I stubborn? Yes. I'm Saturn. I'm Pluto. But inherently, I'm hopeful and optimistic, and I don't want to give up. So, for those out there who maybe needed to hear this, Take your time. Let's step back in. Find your crew. Come back. Try to find that middle place. And start simple. Take a risk. And be you. I love this new voice thing that I'm doing. I could sit here and talk to myself. I actually have. I was doing that last night. I talked to myself for like 10 minutes while I was doing this, and it felt like I was talking to my other self. It's like weird. And then it turned into like, is this Mercury? Is this Hermes coming through? I was like, because I am that way. I am a Gemini, fucking A, I'm a Gemini. So I'm like, oh, this is Mercury. This is when I would run into Mercury on the way to the underworld or one of the 7 rivers. That this would be the way that Mercury would talk to me with his wings. But I think the voice of Mercury could be different for everybody else. Think about that when you go to sleep at night tonight. What would Mercury's voice sound like to you? On that note,
it's time to say goodbye. You know what it's like? It's like when you watch those like documentary TV shows, and there's like they have to blur the face of the witness, and they have to change the tone of the voice. So like they're like in the witness protection program. So I'm in the Astrological Witness Protection Program, okay? This is what this really is. You don't know where I am. Anyway, so I don't even know if this is coming through what I've been doing. But this is me. That is for sure. This is me. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I wish I had a piece of pizza. Zelda Lane, another super chat. What's going on, man? You guys... Thanks, Kitty. I see a little kitty on the super chat right there. Hint of a backroom detective. Yeah, all right, y'all. Be cool. Listen, I'm going to try to work on a regular video, not a live stream this week. It could be a Pluto video for each sign. It could be something else. I don't know. What I'm trying to understand is to do things creatively. I don't know if you're on YouTube a lot, but there's this whole thing the last 2 to 3 weeks on your YouTube feed of all these famous YouTubers, of a lot of people like, I quit YouTube. This is why I'm leaving YouTube. And I've seen people doing this for a little bit, and I understand why at the same time. Like, it's like another trend of leaving and then having to make a video about this. I don't want to leave YouTube, but what's most important is I do shit like this, that I don't care, that I have to creatively take a chance and go to places and like do things like this because I still care. So I still do it, right? So good night, y'all. Good to see you all. Thanks for rolling with me. I know some of you it's really late where you are. This other mic I'm using probably doesn't sound good, but I appreciate you. All right. And Kate says you should use AI and become a iguana for next streams. I have already looked into stuff like this. Already working on it. Already work on stuff like this. There's a particular thing I had the last couple of years that I was going to do on the streams, and they took it away. And I'm trying to find the equivalent technology. And so there you go. Am I channeling Algol? Oh my God, that's funny. Let me look through the chat before I say goodbye. And yeah. All right. Well, I will get my sheet together.
Let me get it together, man. Let me get it together. Let me get it together, man. Walk through the portal. Walk through the portal. Walk. Walk. Walk through the portal. Don't look back. Walk through the portal. Find your way through the underworld. Use your power and walk through the portal. Buenas noches.